Hello, I'm Blake Scarlevi, Principal Consultant with Route 16, and today in this video I'm going to show you how to make a very simple chatbot using the Power Virtual Agent built on the Power Platform, and we're going to do a completely low-code, no-code solution leveraging Power Automate for the logic of this bot. We're going to build a very simple joke bot that'll tell us a joke, leveraging a free third-party API that's very easy to use. So let's get to it. So first of all, we'll want to jump into the Power Apps Maker portal. I want to create a solution for this, so I have one made already called JokeBot. And then from within the solution, we can go ahead and do a new, let's see, you can do a new chatbot. Let's see if this opens the one I've had already. All right, so yes, I'm in the context of my bot I made already. For you, you'll want to go ahead and create a new bot. If you don't have a license for virtual agents, should prompt you to start a trial. Which you can go ahead and do. It's free and it's good to test out. Here's our main dashboard page. It has a very nice UI for testing our bot once we get it going. It's very easy to test, works very well. The first thing we'll want to do is go to topics on the left here. And there will be a lot of default topics. You can delete these or modify them as needed. For now, we're going to go ahead and make a new topic. Just give it a name. So this will be our joke topic. This is the name of the bot when it replies to the users. We're just going to call it JokeBot. And then this is the phrase that will actually trigger the bot and this specific topic. So we'll say, tell me a joke. I want to add that phrase. And then we're going to click this Go to Authoring Canvas on the right here. So this is actually a nice drag and drop UI, very similar to Power Automate, no code, pretty easy to use. So it starts with our trigger of tell me a joke, and then this message will be the output that the bot sends back to the user. So what we're going to want to do is add an action in between. And we're going to use Power Automate to go hit that third-party API to get a joke for us and then return it back to the user. So we're going to click this call and action. And this will show us all the flows that we have for bots. So we're going to go ahead and create a new flow. You'll want to give it a name so you can see it within the chatbot. So we'll just say get joke. So for now, we don't have any inputs. We're just saying, tell me a joke. So we're just going to reach out to that API. So for that, we're going to do the HTTP action. It's going to be a simple GET request, no authentication. So we'll hop over to the joke API documentation. So we're using this joke API. It allows you to try it out here. So we're just going to do any category, single joke. It's just easier. There's no setup or anything. And so here it's telling us the URL that we want. So we'll just grab this URL, go back to the flow, put it in the URI field. One thing we're going to do for the purpose of this video is add safe mode. So we don't get any explicit jokes for this video, and that's all there is to it. So that's just going to reply with a joke. The one thing we'll do to make this easier, we'll go back to the documentation, and here it has an example of what the response looks like. So we're going to copy that JSON response, go back to flow here, and we're going to do the parse JSON action. For content, we're going to specify the output of our call to the joke API. and then we're going to generate the payload from the example from the documentation. So this will set up the properties, so it's very easy to get the joke property that we want. And then here, this is the return back to the virtual agent. So we're going to have a text return, call it joke. And then here, because we did the parse JSON, we can easily see the joke property that we want. That's what we want to return back to the bot there. So we're going to go ahead and save this flow. Once it saves within the virtual agent, we should be able to call an action. We can see our new flow that we made. All right, so now we can go back, call an action. It should display our new flow here, get joke. You can see the output is our joke that we returned from the flow. So then very straightforward in this message, there's a button to insert variables. So we're gonna go ahead and insert the joke variable. Go ahead and save that topic. So once this saves, we can then use the test UI to try it out. Say, tell me a joke. So this triggers our flow, hits the API, and here you go, returns with a hilarious joke here. And we can go back to the flow and just see what happened. So here's our trigger that happened. So there's no inputs, went and hit the API. The API returned. Here's the joke property that we had. And we return that joke back to the virtual agent. Very straightforward. So one thing we can do to expand further on this, the API supports different types of jokes. So when the user says, tell me a joke, instead we can then reply with a question to get more specific. So we can say, what kind of joke would you like to hear? And we can give them options. Since this API only supports certain options, we can go ahead and put those in here. So it has a pun category. There's a spooky one. And Christmas jokes. And so what this does is automatically add conditions for each one, but ours is going to be dynamic. So we can go ahead and delete these conditions. And then last thing we want to do, so this is going to save the response. By default, it calls it var. We'll just change it to category, be more specific. So then we can go ahead into our flow and change it now to take an input. So we'll go to the trigger, we're going to add an input of text. We'll name it category. And now, for the joke API, we can see, if we go back to the test module here, and say, let's do a pun. So it gives us the new URL. It just replaced the any with pun. So we can go back to flow, get rid of this any, and now we can pass in the category. So now we're passing that category dynamically into the API and get that specific type of joke that the user's asking for. So it's saved. So now what we have to do, since we changed the structure of the flow, we're just going to go ahead and delete this, the one we had before. And now it's complaining that that variable doesn't exist. We'll get rid of that. And now we're going to add, just re-add the flow. So now it will have the new structure with the new input. So get joke. Now you can see it's asking for a category. So we can specify the category variable that we now have from asking the question. And then joke is the output still, so we can re-add that back here. Go ahead and save it. So now we should be able to test the new joke here. So tell me a joke. And now the virtual agent's going to reply with our question, what kind of joke would you like to hear? So we can click pun. And now here we go. We get a pun, hilarious pun here. So we can go back to the flow and just double check now exactly what it did. So you can see in our input, we passed in a category of pun. So then we called the API instead of the any joke. We're now just getting a pun. It's returning like it did before. So there we go. Our agent's more specific now. And so now we have a bot. We kind of want to get it out there to the users. So within this manage here, you'll want to go to details and name it what you want the user to see. Pick any icon that you would like. And then go to channel. So they support a variety of channels, like portals, Facebook, Skype, Teams. So let's show Teams. So within Teams, you can go ahead and add it. You might have to submit for approval. You probably will, unless you're, owning your own Microsoft tenant. So now we can open that bot within Teams. We can add it to our Teams. We should have the bot here. And so let's give this a shot. Tell me a joke. There you go. What type of joke would you like to hear? Let's hear a Christmas one. Oh. Let's see. Oh, it might be my older version of the bot because I've done multiple of these now. Because it's not, as you can see, it's not triggering our flow, so it's probably a different type of one. But you should, it would be the same exact result that we would get within this test module here. And so there you have it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more types of videos like this. Thank you.